this map, but I have full faith in them to make this one an interesting one. Yet again, we have this small airtime reduction, then you land in a drift as close to that corner as possible. Then you have this weird rocking back and forth where you cut the ramp and then take advantage of the rocking to get the car to land early and then carry that speed all the way through to the finish. Let's see who does it best.
Again, very fast rounds between these players. Less than 30 seconds per round, and it's essentially a blitz to those 10 points. It looks like Mime a little bit too wide on the line. He took a very sharp inside line there. Tween is going to lead Elcon into the final drift. Mime, great speed, but it just touches that inside wall. It's going to be a draw. Elcon just overtaking Tween, so a 1-1 start.
Would have been a very different outcome had Mime been able to keep his line under control there. So maybe a sign that that Sinners have something to worry about. It's a little bit too early, I think, to be sounding the alarm bells, but I think this has the potential to be one of the closest matches that we've seen all day. So we're just looking for any early signs of where things may go here. Mime and Tween absolutely neck and neck through this final drift, and Tween should get this one better. Better line means that he doesn't need to disturb his trajectory as much as Mime did to avoid that inside wall. That is a victory for Sinners. 3-2 for this map score so far.
Great round all the way around. Everybody looking pretty good right now. Elcon just a little bit of a clip on that inside edge. It doesn't take him out of contention, but with how short this map is, there's not a lot of room to make up that pace, and bobbles a little bit there on the landing as well. He's going to rely on Mime to keep this lead, but Tween going to give him a run here down the final drift. Again, Mime too far to the inside. And that's going to be Tween and Kappa once more to take another victory, extend their lead to 2 now, 5-3 heading into round 4.
That was a carbon copy of the round that we just saw. I think if anything, this is a sign that Mime has this entire map down except for the final little technical hurdle, which is getting that drift under control and making sure that he isn't too far to the left side, meaning that he needs to kind of swing out to the right to avoid hitting that wall. Let's see what he does here. Elcon, Mime, and Tween all very, very close. Elcon being the one to swing out wide, and this works out very well for Into the Breach. They wind up making the ace happen, and it's 6-5. Advantage goes back in favor of ITB.
And that's why, that's why this point spread is so important. And this is why you can't take a round off. You get 2 good wins for Sinners. Hard fought towards the front. Oh, who was that? Elcon, I believe, clipped that checkpoint.
Yeah.
It was. So now Mime again going to try for the draw to keep his team in the lead. He's got just about a 10th up on Tween. And this time his line much better. Tween's still a little bit faster in the ending, but ultimately not enough. That will be the draw. Into the Breach now on track point. Another ace will secure their map 1.
Pressure's on Sinners. Pressure is on Sinners now. A victory will draw them level on points. An ace will barely get them ahead.
I think that was Cat or Tween.
I think it was. So things not quite looking very good for Sinners, especially given the fact that the only person still in the fight is Kappa, who is in P3 and has got a long way to go to get ahead of Mime. It is not going to happen. An ace hands the first map to ITB. It is 1-0 in the series. Very well fought. Short, sweet round of maps, and that is, I guess, what you get when you have 27-second runs.
And hey, that's one way to do it, right? You lose a couple of rounds. All you got to do is just ace a couple more, and you will be just fine. So ITB continue to look good. A much closer map than I think that they were used to there. Kappa and Tween really sticking with them. Now, though, we head to 23, and this is where things start to get a little bit dangerous. I think ITB, we saw them here before. They are quite fast, and if you're not prepared as Sinners here, this could get out of hand quite quickly.
Yeah, this has definitely been the biggest upset map, I think, of the entire day so far. Things have looked really, really good until ice gets involved, and then all of a sudden, all bets are off. Usually the players are able to deal with how that ice loop kicks the car in that certain direction, but then either you deal with it kind of okay, but you lose speed in the process, or you're fine and you get through it, but then there's that final ice slide. And even though it seems so simple, there have been mistake after mistake made in that section. So we'll see which of these two teams is going to have that down slightly more consistently here.
Yeah, I mean, they made it a map against K-Corp, but they got a lot of mistakes out of the K-Corp players on that ice loop. I don't think we're going to see the same thing out of Mime and Elcon, as Kappa goes sideways, and that's going to give Elcon third. Tween going to try to chase down Mime, but it looks like this should hold. Mime should be able to cross the line first. Tween will coast to a second place. Elcon third. Kappa. And after that mistake in the loop, he goes through. But he will come back to the finish. Not going to get excited this time. That was pretty wicked.
We should get excited for the time. A 58-0 is extremely fast. Now, that said, Mime's PB is a 57-7, which coming into today was second in the world. 58-0 is faster than every other of the competitors' PBs that we're looking at right now. Definitely nothing to shake a stick at.
Yep. Second place in the world. The only player better is Mutta with a 57-6. Definitely, I have a feeling if we see the ITB Allegiance matchup. Allegiance? I call them Allegiance? Alliance?
You did, yes.
The ITB Alliance matchup, I have a feeling we will see 23. And that will be a fantastic map. Right now, Elcon leading Kappa. Mime and Tween actually relatively close to one another towards the back, but I think Mime has just enough of a step on Tween to keep this one. Kappa going to challenge Elcon. Not quite going to be enough. And that's going to be another ITB victory. They'll go up 4-2.
We know at this point Tween doesn't need to finish because they will still get the that 1 point for losing the round regardless. But you know, always feels good to cross the finish line if your teammate has done so.
That's what you're being paid to do. To be fair, is to cross the finish line.
Damn finish line. Just get over it.
Exactly.
4-2 to ITB. Early lead won't mean much if the Sinners pull an ace back here, but so far ITB have looked pretty good. Somebody into that outside wall. That was definitely Mime. So Elcon leading the line for ITB. Sinners right now, as the positions, or if the positions hold, they will get nothing more than a draw, but Tween should be looking to work super hard to get ahead of Elcon to at least double their potential points total. Problem is, it's Elcon that you've got to pass, and Elcon is an absolute wizard on ice, and it is definitely not a simple task to get past him, especially when you are about 4/10 behind him. Make that half a second now through that final CP, and they go all the way through to the end. An easy victory by Elcon, 57-9. Tween and Kappa will bring up P2 and 3 respectively, and that is a draw.
57-9 for Elcon? Right?
Yes.
That
his
was
PB coming into today,
PB?
that's a 2/10 PB.
That's insanity.
58-1 before that.
Wow. I don't know where that puts him in the leaderboard. He was 9th on the leaderboard with that 58-1, so probably moved up a couple of places. Well done to him. Yeah, I mean, that's probably top 5. I don't know. I'd have to look.
Yeah,
Either way, yeah, I mean, it's like the Sinners are chasing down. It feels like they're chasing a player down, you know, each run through this map. And right now, you're chasing both Elcon and Mime down. But, you know, I'm sure they wish they had like a blue shell or something. But at this point, you know, they have to make their own mistakes. And it just, Elcon and Mime so fast when they're able to stay off the walls. They're going to go hand in hand across the line. Oh, Mime hit,
Oh.
oh, he hit the pole. No, so did Kappa, though. And that's going to give Mime a chance to try again. Kappa, oh, he threw that draw away. And Mime comes across in third. That was unbelievable. Mime thanking his lucky stars. He ends up with a third place finish there. And now things get really interesting because Into the Breach with an ace will win it here for him.
I was just about to say something about how it was just like watching ballet dancing with how in sync both Elcon and Mime were. And then I saw Mime dip a little bit too far to the inside, and I was like, ooh, maybe hold that comment, and then slammed into it. So not the ace they would have wanted, but we've seen good enough performance from them. They very likely could just pull it out of the bag in this round.
Elcon said, I bet you won't hit that pole.
Yeah.
And Mime definitely did.
Betcha I will.
Yeah, $20 to let me come first. This map. It's funny. And right now, I mean, assuming they can hold on to this lead again, it's Mime and Elcon 1 and 2. This time not as close, but still way out of the reach of Tween and Kappa. And no mistakes this time. That's going to be the ace for ITB. And it will be map number 2. 2 Into the Breach. Sinners doing what they could, but as I said, coming into 23, it's just, if you're not prepared for it, like, I think Kappa and Tween are quite good at that track, but they're not Mime and Elcon on that map. You know what I mean? It's just,
yeah,
it's so difficult to keep up.
You can, like, the more and more rounds like that go on, it becomes more and more obvious who has put in the time grinding certain tracks, and it's plain as day to me that Mime and Elcon put in a significant amount of time on that track, and it paid off because now they're 2-0 up in the series. They bought themselves some wiggle room, which, you know, I guess it's up to them to demonstrate whether they even need it, because they're good enough to sweep this for the sake of entertainment. I hope they don't. I hope Sinners are able to take some back, and we know Tween and Kappa are ridiculously good, and they definitely can, but, you know, as good as Tween and Kappa are, I feel like Elcon and Mime are right there with them. Tween into the wall in the chicane. He is out of this, and who is that in the lead? It's gonna be Kappa. Mime P2, Elcon P3, securing the draw here, and Tween will finally cross the line with about 5 seconds to spare.
Well, we start things off with the draw. That's, funny enough, that's kind of rare for this map. We don't see too many draws for whatever reason. But we start with one here. And I think Tween and Kappa definitely have a better chance on this track, but we have seen Mime put up some pretty good times. He is going to be chasing down Kappa. Gets better exit speed there. Kappa going to try to cut him down, but it's not going to be enough. That will be Into the Breach taking the victory. A 2-point swing there for them. So 3-2 now heading into the next round. And I wonder, well, maybe this is a question for later. Maybe this is a question for a longer map. But, you know, ultimately, I do think that this feels like a kind of a last gasp for Sinners. If you don't win this map, it really feels like it's going to be hard to come back.
Oh man, and Tween's not making their job any easier by clipping the inside. That
but
said,
Mime,
oh wow, Mime made a mistake as well, and all of a sudden that will be a round victory to Sinners. They were staring down the barrel of a draw, and then were gifted a victory by mistake from Mime right at the end there. It's 4-4. Sinners aren't out of this yet.
No, they most certainly aren't. Much more competitive map this time around. As this time it is going to be Elcon. Really, Tween, a little bit of a mistake there, but he does have a lot of exit speed. Elcon ends up falling back. Mime will lead Kappa, then Elcon, then Tween. And we are trading places here. Mime with a 27 flat just about. Quite fast. Actually, 27. What was that? That was a. I think that was a PB from mine on this track.
It may have been. I sorry, I was missing that one because I was actually getting. Actually, we'll get to the end of this round first. Elcon, scraping up against the wall. A terrible feeling for anybody. Kappa, Mime, and Tween going at it. Oh my goodness, this is going to be very close. Tween! Oh, he doesn't quite snipe it, but it didn't matter because the only person he was trying to snipe it from was Kappa. So back and forth indeed. Sinners now take the lead 8-6. A report on the other match right now. Carmine Corp are up 2-1 over Solary in their match. They have just started map 4, so Carmine Corp looking pretty good in terms of their personal accolades.
Well, right now, again, I think this is a must-win map here for Sinners, and they're going to try to close it out right here. You've got Kappa and Tween, 1 and 2. Elcon takes the lead for the moment, but Tween's got so much speed through this section. He's going to take first, and I think that's going to do it. Kappa will come in third, and there it is. Sinners on the board, and we've got a match on our hands now, a 10-7 victory. That ace coming in clutch there for Sinners in the penultimate round. And like I said, it's a match now. It's 2-1 for ITB heading to map 4.
It's time for them to pick it up. They went 2-0 down. They had a very, very good round on 08, and we're back to some black tracks that we know all 4 of these players are ridiculously good on. I think I'd probably have to give this slight advantage to ITB on this one, just from what we've seen in the past. But I'm hoping to be proven wrong. I am all in favor of going 2-2 here. I just think it's going specifically on 21. It's going to be a little bit more of an uphill battle for Sinners compared to ITB, but who knows?
Well, here we go. And I wanted to pose this question to you before. You know, where does the strategy really start to come in? Again, this map, or these maps we're playing today, not the maps that these players are going to get a lot of play time on over the next few months. But where does the strategy become when you and your teammate are trailing maybe a tenth, 2-3 tenths behind the leader, and then his teammate makes a mistake, right? So all of a sudden, it's the 2 of you against 1 at the front, but you're trailing. When do you start to make the risky lines? Like, when do you start to take more risks to try to snipe that top spot to give your team more points? But then you also risk not getting the draw if you crash out.
That is the question, isn't it? I think a lot of that comes down to how you intake more information or additional information, as we see a draw played out in front of us between ITB and Sinners, so 1-1 for both of them. I don't know. There are benefits, and there are pros and cons to having your HUD on or having it off, or like seeing players in front of you versus just like grinding the track by itself with no ghosts on. I think there's a benefit to having ghosts on, because information like that will help you kind of decide when it is time to kind of turn on the afterburners. It's like you can definitely get that information from looking at the timing tower on the left side, but it doesn't update in real, like it updates in real time, but only when the players cross the CPs, versus a ghost, which is a real-time representation of where the players are at any given moment in time. So I don't know. I think the answer to that kind of lies in the personal preferences of how all these players like to compete. As we get into the penultimate corner here, Elcon trying to steal this one away from Kappa, might do so by 0.02 of a second, manages to snipe him and turns a victory into an ace for ITB.
Yeah, huge. Really well done from Elcon. Just for the record, Elcon is a pro. You said there were pros and cons.
Oh my god. Get me out of here. Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying. I don't want anyone to be shocked when you find out that Elcon is a professional player. Tween. That's a big mistake. That's really going to hurt. He's got to rely on Kappa now.
L Pro and Elcon.
as Kappa trying to track down the two pros in front of him. Mime and Elcon both professional Trackmania players. They're very fast.
This round. I'm mad. I'm angry.
Well, I think Kappa's angry as well. He's got Elcon in his sights. He's really going to cut this one close. Does avoid clipping. Does he have the pace? Not quite. Mime and Elcon 1-2. And that is another 3 points to ITB. This map getting out of hand quickly. 7-1, just like that. And it's track point for the British Horde.
Definitely an ace that they had more control over versus the previous one, only getting him by, was it 0.02 of a second? That one was definitely more under control, yeah. So 7-1, and Sinners definitely having trouble, kind of like I predicted. I didn't want to be right, but unfortunately that seems to be the way that we're going here. Kappa out to the lead now, pretty much with a nose in front. And the second I say that, that's Elcon stealing the lead away from him. Very back and forth fight through this plastic section. We get to the road and then dive right back down onto the plastic once again. Comfortable, kind of nice, tidy, cozy pack for all four of these as Tween tries to take a tighter line to catch up. It won't really work. The second I say that, he catches up tremendously and actually gets a pretty good speed boost through this ending. How is this going to change the results? It's an Elcon and Mime victory, taking them to 9-2, and Sinners have it all to do here.
0.127 separating first from fourth there. What a great round. But ultimately, Sinners, not how they would have wanted it to go. Have to ace at least the next 3 rounds if they want a chance. And yet, Tween just not going to make it work. And I think that's going to do it. I think Mime and Elcon, they've certainly seen it now. They certainly have seen that Tween has made the error. All you got to do is keep it on the track, and you will have your 3rd map under your belt. And what this track, I mean, I think we have finished this map faster than we finished 08.
That's kind of insane.
Oh,
with how long the runs would be. Oh, Mime is actually out of this one. Kappa almost catching up with Elcon. Doesn't matter indeed. Elcon still secures the 2 points necessary. For Elcon and Mime securing the 2 points necessary to put this one to bed. And ITB go 3-1 up in the series. And Sinners, there's no other way to say it. Sinners' backs are up against the wall here. They need to take every single map from here on out. Their first attempt at being nothing shy of perfect is going to be on the fall campaign map 15.
Number 15. You get to see it again, second time of the day. Really excited to see this one. And yeah, I mean, if there's ever a time for the Sinners to make a deal with the devil, Leachy, it's right now. Need 3 back-to-back-to-back maps. We'll see if they can pull this out. I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle, I think, into the breach, especially on this map as well. I think you kind of have to give the edge to ITB. But that said, Kappa has had some pretty fast laps through here, so I don't know. I don't want to write them off just yet. But again, if they want any hope of sniffing the playoffs tomorrow, this is a must-win map at the very least.
Sinners with the lead here through the opening round, especially with Mime tapping all the way there in the back. So now Elcon, the only person that can hope to steal any points out of the pockets of Sinners, and it's not going to happen. Look at that. Right next to each other. Couldn't ask for a better finish from Kappa and Tween. They ace this one, and that is exactly how you want to start from being so far down in the series.
I mean, they could have finished it better. They could have went to the left of the tree.
Oh, we're on this
to the
again.
right.
Okay, fair, yes.
Just saying, man. Style points. Pack and Carl Jr. did it, okay? Let's see.
Yes, they did.
Hopefully, we will see left side risky strats in a more competitive round. Perhaps this one, as Elcon going to try to hold off both Tween and Kappa. He's going to go to the left side. What happened?
What just happened? Elcon.
Did he reset on accident?
No, I think I saw his ghost. He was dropping below. He may, you know what I think happened? I think he may have clipped the tree, not enough to kill his forward momentum, but slow it down enough to where he didn't have enough speed to make that ring finish, and he just needed to reset because I don't see any other way that could have happened, unfortunately.
Okay. I like to think that he just accidentally hit the reset button. He was celebrating.
Sure, it's more fun to think of it that way.
Yeah. He was celebrating and just, oops, happens to the best of us. Well, regardless of what happened, Sinners a 6-0 lead right now, though. ITB in the top 2 spots heading into this final dirt turn. Let's see what they decide to do here. Again, Elcon goes left, he hits the tree again, and that's going to pull an ace into a draw. Elcon again into the trees. He's going to try it again. Yeah, keep going. Again into the tree. He's a tree magnet, this man. And it is a 7-1 game for Sinners as Elcon picks the tree branches from his car and starts again.
It's just covered in pine needles and sap and bruises and probably a concussion
sadness
from hitting it like 4 times in a row. Yeah, it's sadness, the most important ingredient.
You need the substitute driver. The other one can't see straight right now.
We gotta sub him in. Elcon in the lead right now. Mime a close second, but Kappa is knocking on the door, bouncing it off of that water section, and Kappa hits the underside between, potentially able to turn this. Oh, and it wasn't. He didn't quite get there in time, but hey, the ace safely secured by Into the Breach, maybe due to Elcon's decision to keep it a little bit safer.
You mean I'm yelling at him to stop trying to go left?
Yeah.
Well, the ace is in. Another ace will even the lobby here. Sinners again still on track point. Can force us into a map number 6. Tween, that's not going to help though. Somebody in slow in front of him as well. It is Elcon. So it's a 2-man race up front. Kappa and Mime separated by about a 10th at the moment. So that lead quickly increasing as Kappa running away with this one. And now it's going to come down to Tween. Can he get a position from Mime and Elcon? Let's see. Kappa going to safely fly his way through. Mime, Elcon, Tween in that order. And it's a draw. Sinners 2 away now from moving on to map 6.
Keeping the gap the same, but crucially, Sinners' win conditions easing just a little bit. They now just need a round victory to make this one work. And coming into contact with that wall. They turn just very slightly off of that dirt to get a very slight slide going on with the car to make the drift easier. Oh no, Mime into the wall on the right side, and now all of a sudden the Sinners can look to make something happen here. It's going to be a draw as it stands right now, but Tween has the ability to get past Elcon. This line may actually pay off. If he can get past him, does he go to the left? Oh, he tried to! And he risked it too far, clipping the edge of the turbo. And Elcon and Mime will scrape past this one with the victory. Sinners still with a point in hand, but now Into the Breach could steal this one away with an ace.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Mime comes in third is huge right there because that gives them a chance now to end this series. They're on match point. If they can find the ace, then we are done in 5 maps. Sinners just need a point. If they force a draw, that will be good enough. Let's see how things go. Tween actually off the sign, and that's going to kill his momentum. He's got to hope for Kappa to make a move here. Good inside line there. He's got time, and Elcon touches the inside wall. Is that going to be enough? Kappa's going to take first. As long as he makes this jump, he's going to the right side of the tree. Avoids it quite well, and Tween takes second. Because
Oh.
why not? A sweep, or rather an ace to end the map. We get to map 6. Sinners, final score, 12-7. Into the breach, made it close. Alcon still pulling the pine needles off the tires. And we've got map 6.
What was that ending?
I don't know. I didn't see what happened. I was only watching Kappa. I was like full on board. Does Kappa do this?
Yeah. That was
I don't know.
kind of ridiculous there. Players in chat asking for a pause, so we'll I guess we'll stick on our faces for a minute. Oh, maybe not being on it. Can't quite tell, but it is going to be map 20. My favorite yet again. Plenty of time to be made up with the Zoops. Plenty of time to be made up riding super close to that edge of the wall, the outer edge on both of the left-hand dirt turns throughout this map. We are rocking here. This is map number 6. It's Fall 22-20. Sinners, this is yet another must-win for them if they want to take this to map 7 and have any slight chance of qualifying.
And another scary map to play against ITB. I'm very quick, as you can see here. Kappa, quite quick in his own right. So he is going to look to try to snipe this off of Mime. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Yeah, even and especially with that, he is able to keep his lead.
No way,
No,
Alcon.
wow. Alcon just at the end, able to overtake both Kappa and Tween, and it's a 3-0 start for ITB.
Man. That was they went from not necessarily having it in control, but definitely having it kind of like locked down. And all right, I do believe we will finally get that pause coming in from the referees. So they were asking for something a little bit earlier. So we will be redirected to our faces while the players are able to sort that out. But obviously, not the greatest start for Sinners. Breach now 3 points up, and all they need, well, I say all they need, is a couple more aces, but Sinners are good enough to prevent that. But, God, would there be any better map for Sinners to go up against ITB versus 20, or is it kind of like,
oh yeah,
Sinners have an uphill battle regardless of what they're playing?
Yeah, no, I don't want to play Mime on any map that he has a world record on. Period. Like full stop.
True. I forgot about that aspect.
Like full stop. I think Mime has been avoiding 22. I think Mime really does not like that map. I think that I don't know if he doesn't full ban it, but I think they hope that they don't have to play it. I think I'm pulling that card if I ever have to, go toe-to-toe with ITB, but yeah, I don't like the Sinners' chances. However, they have been quick through the first couple of rounds. This time, no mistake made by Kappa, and he will just edge out Alcon Tween, just taking out Mime as well, and that will give Sinners a much-needed 2 points.
Okay, 4-2. 4-2. That's looking a lot better from Sinners here. Get into this next round. See how much they can optimize these lines. Taking outside. They will go outside yet again. Nobody touching that wall. Mime getting very, very close to doing so. Shooting that gap. Down to the inside. And look for the airtime. They jump as steeply as possible in both instances to try and get as much speed as they can. Wow, Tween, not the greatest line. And all of a sudden, Mime and Elcon are home free on map number 20. They just need to keep it clean, but surely they will see the gaps that they are working with and take it nice and easy all the way to the finish. That is done and dusted. Yet another ace for Into a Breach. And Hunted, we have some news to report from the other side of this group.
That we do. We most certainly do. It looks like the victory is in. The celebration is on for K-Corp. They have taken down Solary 4-2. Final map score in that one. as Sinners look to avoid that map score against themselves. But I think at this point, I think they've lost too many against ITB to even qualify for the playoffs, regardless of how this ends. But I think they want to take, if you can knock down the powerhouse that has been ITB today, I think you're most definitely going to take that opportunity. However, it is going to be an uphill battle as Elcon leads the way. Mime just taking over Kappa's, or rather Tween's spot, and that's going to be it. Mime too fast. Tween can't keep up. Into the breach. Too good on the day. They will finish this series, and they will finish their day 3-0 out of Group B.